What's up, everyone? We are back again. Thanks for tuning in to Miles TV. As always, I appreciate you for tuning in, for checking out this video. Uh, we are on episode 46. Beware the potatoes. This episode was fun. This episode was real fun. I will go ahead and tell you that I enjoyed this episode a lot. But anyway, let's start out. Fan mail. We get a letter from Carlos. They're a little unclear about if it's an actual letter from Carlos, the old DM, or if it's just somebody named Carlos. But Katie says we love you at the end, and so that leads me to believe that it's an actual letter from old DM Carlos. Still not too sure on that, but yeah. We find out that, Carlos still kicking around and he's still listening. He's still thinking about everybody. So that's good. My notes are a little wonky today, so work with me as I try to work through my notes. We pick up right after the snake murdering that took place in the last episode. Ambrose gets everybody together and he heals everyone. Pickles heads to this office that they found, and she starts to look around. They all check in with each other, see how they're doing after this battle, which I do like. You always got to do a check-in. Miraz and Ambrose head to the office that Pickles is in, and it's already destroyed. She searched through everything to find whatever she was looking for, but she finds journals with logs and daily events from the foremen that worked in this mine shaft. Ambrose casts Detect Magic and reads the book. It's a book of the the foremen, daily log. One thing of note in this book seems to be this is home to a very rare type of crystal, like the decayed crystal. They couldn't get it to see. Yeah, so this was the home to the decay crystal, and it was so deep in this mine that they had to get like special tools or something to figure out how to get to it. And they were heading to town or back to town to figure out what tools they need or get the tools they need. And then they ran into what we believe to be Zanzibar, the traveling merchant that's very mysterious that they got strudel from. He shows up and offers them another way. He sold them these magic potatoes that would grow towards the magic crystal and like kind of grow through the dirt, I guess. And I'm very unclear what the plan was here, but these crystals would grow towards the crystals and maybe latch on, and then they pull the potatoes out, or it would clear the dirt away trying to get to the crystals. Really unclear on how this plan was going to work. Every time I think about a poor plan, I think about the Meet the Robinson with the dinosaur. It's like I don't think this plan was clearly thought through. The last entry of the book was when the snake people showed up. The foreman decided to write in the book. Some snake people just showed up from the woods. Let's see what they want. The group looks around and finds barrels of mithril, and I'm going to try to say this word, or calcium. Ambrose is worked up about his purse. He doesn't think it's a purse, it's a man bag of holding. I can't think of anything clever to say, by Gucci. Get your man bag here. Pickles doesn't breathe anymore. That is a good note to have. She doesn't sleep anymore. You can't touch her, and she doesn't breathe. So yeah, she might just be a lich. Man, if Pickles, I've never been one for the bad guy to win. Like, I know a lot of people that want the bad guy to win, that vote for the bad guy. They love the bad guy aesthetic. But if Pickles goes evil and she turns into a lich, I see the appeal. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I, I, I see. Like, I'm there for it. Let it happen. It reminds me of God, the everybody likes the new Diablo chick, and before that, it was the chick from Resident Evil. I'm just like, oh, okay, I see where people are going with this. Adalia sees a small hole that Pickles can fit through, and Pickles immediately goes through it. I don't know how much this has been a thing, but it seems like Pickles is more. I don't want to say random. I can't think of the word, but just kind of like doing more stuff that. And I don't want to say out of character because Pickles has always done what she wants, but it just seems like it's more like chaos thing. And which she is a chaos character of chaos, but it just seems like this episode it sticks out a little bit more that she's just like, I'm gonna go do this thing I want to do. I'm gonna go do that thing I want to do. Nobody can tell me what to do. Ultimate power. But so that just kind of sticks out to me more in this episode. And I was just like, man, I didn't know she was this chaotic, and I don't want to say hard-headed, but hard-headed. Hard of listening. But she does listen to people. She goes through this tunnel and she finds a dead guy who's holding something, and she goes to pull it out, and this dead guy lunges out at her and holding a crystal, and he claims that it is his crystal, but Pickles ends up with it. Adalia casts mold earth behind her so they can all get through the tunnel. Something seems off about how this guy died or when this guy died. It seems like the crystal was keeping him alive in some way. So Ferric casts speak with the dead. And he asks the dead guy, why do you want the crystal? He responds, he found it and he heard that somebody wanted to take it. So he hid. Do you know the consequences of this crystal? God doesn't know. What can you tell me of the snake people, reptile people? They came and killed everyone. So again, he hid here. What ritual were they doing? He doesn't know. What of the potatoes? Beware the potatoes. Adalia checks the crystal out from Pickles. She gets it from Pickles. It seems to be like a shard of the decay crystal. Ambrose casts Identify, and the crystal glows and stops. Adalia tries to cast Druid cast through the crystal, and it turns brown. She tries to cast Mold Earth, and nothing happens. Through experiments, they find out that this is an anti-magic filled crystal. I think it absorbs magic and not just stops it or just like destroys it. I think it absorbs magic. Pickles is still beefing with Navarra that we find out because she wants the crystal, and Pickles like, no, she can't have my crystal. They put the crystal in the bag of holding after a little bit of debate. They changed their mind on who should hold it. Because they were going to put it in the bag of holding, and then they were like, no, we're not going to put it in the bag of holding. Who should hold it? Mirage should hold it, so he can't talk to the prince. But then Ambrose was just completely against that for some reason, which I think that was a really good idea. But no, we don't know how deities speak to their patrons. So it could be magical means, or it could just be divine order. Pickles does end up holding the crystal. They move forward, and Ambrose detect magic goes off. They see that it is an aberration, a magic circle coming up, and Pickles ties the crystal. Pickles ties the crystal to a stick and pokes the magic circle. A large blast of necrotic energy comes out and goes into the crystal. So that's why I think it can absorb magic. I don't know if it stores it or just absorbs it to like destroy it, or like this crystal is being powered by magic. They see a large door with a divot inside of it. Pickles heads towards it and pokes it with the stick, but on the way there, she sees a narrow hallway with a mound of potatoes in it, and she quickly makes a right turn. Uh, Adalia ends up stopping Pickles before she can do anything reckless. Cue Pickles soundtrack. I did that out of order. The Pickles soundtrack happened before Adalia could do anything. Mirage wants to go see it too. Ravenel is real confused why they would go look when the dead man specifically said, "Beware the potatoes." They figure out that it's probably anti-magic potatoes. Pickles tries writing on the door. Pickles sees, God, what was I doing this morning? Pickles sees writing on the door, and Mirage tries to decipher the portal door. Navarre, Mirage tries to decipher the door and figures out that it is a portal door. Navarre heads to the potato room, and she sees the potatoes. She sees potatoes in this room, and she sees like these purple vines, these purple like tentacles coming out of the potatoes. But potatoes do grow like vine-ish, tentacle-ish roots if you leave them for too long. So that's kind of what they're doing. But since they, I guess, are magic potatoes, they look weird. And as she gets close to them, they flex. They flex. And she doesn't like that. So she leaves. Adalia sees her come from around the corner, sees her head to the potato room. Everyone hides before Ferric casts a knock on this door. Ferric uses this time to talk to Ambrose about Mirage, and it was such perfect timing. Like because everybody's scattered, just kind of like I'm just gonna go, before Ferric does something impulsive. Then Ferric's like, Ambrose, you gotta stop. You gotta chill out being mean to Mirage. And Ambrose is just like, why? And then Adalia cuts in and she says, so we don't have more conversations in caves about this. Like, we got to give it a rest. And then Ambrose finally agrees, like, okay, I'll try to befriend him and try to, try to be better with him. Ferric casts knock on the door and a vortex opens up and tries to suck Ferric in. But eventually it does go away. They call for Pickles to come over with her anti-magic poking stick, and she pokes the door and nothing happens. At this point, Ravenel is kind of frustrated and jittery, I want to say. Ravenel picks up a potato and something under the mound of potatoes moves and shakes, and he puts the potato in the door divot and nothing happens. He is pretty annoyed. He exclaims. He says that he doesn't like puzzles, which is real funny, like how he's acting. He does tell the group or inform the group, like, hey, there's something under that mound of potatoes, but he still does the thing. The group splits up to find clues. They split up like pretty far from each other at this point. They find multiple hallways with potato mounds in them. Adalia hangs out in the middle of the group to everyone, and she has a message, and I think she's casting a message to everyone, just kind of like to keep in like a central location, so in case she needs to help anybody, in case she needs to do anything, she's hanging out in the middle. Pickles. Okay, I don't know. I probably didn't hear this part, but apparently there were 3 magic wards, and Pickles was poking them with her anti-magic stick, and she found 3 of them and like disenchanted the magic, and the crystal starts to glow really brightly. Ambrose walks into a potato room, and immediately a potato monster flies out of a mound of potatoes and goes to attack Ambrose. That is where the episode ends. I really dig this episode. First, we got the letter from Carlos. Cody's still doing a good job of DM. The music for this episode was great. Anytime when I hear a Pickles track, it's a banger. And there's another one. There's another track that I like that I can't think of right at this moment. I never think about to write the music down. They explore this mine. They find a little bit out about this ritual. They find a little bit about these snake people. They know they're in the right place. The role play, the banter between each other. Zanzibar just put a whole new theory into my head about being the big bad. Anti-magic potatoes and crystals. So another thing is the decay crystal. Now, is this like the Shikon jewel? Like, is it split into like a whole bunch of pieces, or are they artificial pieces? Like, I need to know. Like, so that has raised, because if like people can just kind of mass produce fake copies of this, or is this just kind of, like I said, a Shikon jewel thing, and it's split into so many parts, and that the decay crystal, and that's why the crystal crown has to search for them and like get them, because there are so many. So they might have fragments of this jewel, this crystal, and they're trying to put it back together and keep it safe. Theory. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. But from my impression is that they're looking for a whole crystal, not like parts of a crystal. But if they do, so anyway, we're not gonna spend too long on that. So we figured that out. Ambrose finally agreeing not to be mean to Miraz anymore. Yeah. So I really liked this episode. It was a solid episode. I'm going to give this episode 8 hit dice out of 10. It was a great fun episode. They're getting deeper into this mine, and I'm expecting something big to happen. Um, just how everybody is acting. Now we'll come back to that, but it was a very solid episode. I really enjoyed it. 8 hit dice out of 10. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I gotta get better at my outros because I don't know how to end things. I feel like I spend like a good 2 minutes saying goodbye to you guys. And I don't like cold exits as much as I like cold openings. But thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Miles TV. Leave a comment, subscribe. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what your favorite part is. Tell me if you think Pickles is being too mean to Navarra. But as always, you are loved, you are important, and you matter. You guys have a nice night. Bye.